This video is all about carbohydrates. How many of you just gasped when I said that word? Because carbohydrates are so feared. But don't be scared of them, let's just control how much of them we eat. So let's start with the first thing. What do carbohydrates do? So carbohydrates are the main energy source in the body. Many of you have heard the word glucose. Glucose just means sugar. That is carbohydrates, okay? Preferred energy. It's the first place we go to for anything in our body, whether it's brain function, digestion, everything. We really do run on carbohydrates. So with that being said, well, how many carbohydrates should we have if they're so important? Well, the typical generalization out there says about 50% of your daily caloric intake should come from carbohydrates. So let me back that up a little bit. 1 gram of carbohydrate equals 4 calories. So if somebody's on a 1,200 calorie diet, the general rule of thumb is 600 calories should come from carbohydrates. Now that's not always true, and it is dependent on each individual and what your goal is. When we're trying to talk about weight loss, most times that percentage is a little bit lower, maybe 35-40% should come from carbs. Again, that's not set in stone, it is individual based, but it kind of gives you an idea. The typical average person eats anywhere from 125 to 150 grams of carbs a day. Now, that is our goal as your coaches to set that parameter for you based off of everything I talked about in that first series. So don't fear that one, we'll get you your goal shortly. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about and why people think, or why people fear carbs is because people think carbohydrates make you fat. It's not just the carbohydrates that make you fat, it's the excess of anything that makes you fat or makes you store fat. Okay, so just because you're eating carbohydrates doesn't mean you're going to gain fat. It's if you're eating too much of carbohydrates, you'll gain some weight. But also if you're eating too much protein or too many fats, you're also going to put weight on. So it's not necessarily the carbohydrate that's doing it to you, it's in general how much are you eating and what your overall look like.